Okay, so here we are with another Masters of the Universe Revelation unboxing, and this is Dark-Lyn. I've been looking forward to this figure for a while, but hadn't really had a chance to pick her up. She's an online exclusive. I got her on Big Bad Toy Store. This is what the mailer box looks like that it comes in, but don't want to fool with opening up a mailer box on the show. It's just a cardboard box. Who cares? It doesn't even have any printing on it other than just a plain black Masters of the Universe logo and a little label at the top that says it's Dark-Lyn. So, but it's not sexy, is what I'm saying. It's not something that's got a lot of appeal. So we're still over at my mom's house. So I'm still trying to keep it a little low because the rest of my family's trying to sleep. They're not up yet, and I'm not asleep yet. That's usually how that works. So we got this rather imposing image of Lynn on the front. On the back, she's a little more coquettish. So let's go ahead and open her up. Now, since this is one of those online exclusive figures, it's packaging's a little different, like we've seen on these before. Hi, Aunt June. Welcome to the show. So everybody say hi to my Aunt June. So here's this little insert here. Got an image of Dark-Lyn levitating and using her magical powers. And this is, of course, Evil Lyn after she got the power of Grayskull. So I like to call this character Evil Lyn because she's with the He-Man powers, but whatever. So nice backdrop here with the throne. So this is something like with the Skeletor we opened up yesterday and the Vicron we opened up last week. They give us a little bit of background to pose the figure in front of, so that's pretty nice. Doesn't attach to the rest of the box like Skeletor's does, so it's not quite as fancy as Skeletor's, but that's to be expected. So we got a little box down here, and it looks like that box is going to have some energy effects and some extra hands. So let's go ahead and open that up. I am a little disappointed that this figure does not seem to come with the Sword of Power, which would make sense because, like I said, she's got He-Man powers from the Sword of Power. So, you would imagine she would have that as an accessory, but she does not. So, yeah, we got a couple of translucent blue blast effects here, and the extra hands that come in the package is this very very soft tissue paper this is wrapped in. Got a solid fist for the right hand, solid fist for the left hand, and two different gripping hands, one for the left hand, one for the right hand. And on the figure she has two open hands. So nothing really that's like a spell casting hand, like a that kind of hand. But I guess the open hands could work just as well for that. It looks like mine's got a little bit of schmutz on one of her legs. Hopefully I can get that to come off. But there she is, and she definitely has an impressive physique, doesn't she? So let's go ahead and get her out of the package, out of this little cardboard framework we got here. Everything's just gonna fall on the floor, isn't it? All right, so you see it's got these uh paper ropes. Well, Aunt June says sorry she doesn't have a sword, but I think I can manage. I do have a sword to pose her with, so we can see that, and I can always 3D print her own sword. So I'm lucky enough I'm able to do that, but not everybody is. So they really should have had her come with a sword, I think. So it's just those paper cords that are holding her in, and then she's got her feet are kind of through these cardboard manacles, and then we just have to very carefully pull the cape out through the back. So not a whole lot to talk about accessories with this figure, just the extra hands, but she does have a really impressive wired cape, which we haven't seen too many wired capes on Masters of the Universe, so this is unusual. And the little collar thing came out. We'll talk more about that in a minute, but I'm going to put it back in first. Looks like it only goes in so far, but it does look like on the show that like it's supposed to kind of Maybe I should move this back a little bit so the lighting will be better. I'm just not used to shooting on this kitchen table, and now I'm crooked. There we go. And this is Valerie's tripod that I borrowed from her, my sister Valerie. Uh, but yeah, and you can see that it's actually got some printing on the inside of the case. You know what? I think I know what it is. This lamp is off. I'm going to turn this lamp back on. So there we go. 'Cause it seemed a lot darker than it was yesterday, but I think it's because that lamp was off. So now you can probably see it a little better. But see how it's got this kind of star field printed on the inside of her cape. And she's got this kind of loincloth type thing, which for some reason is fabric in the back, but it's plastic in the front. I don't know why they decided to do it that way. She's got kind of a bikini top with the He-Man H emblem on there because, like I said, she has the powers of He-Man right now. The powers of He-Man and the powers of the sorceress, and whatever evil magical powers that Evil Lyn had before. And she's got like the white hair like Evil Lyn usually has, that kind of platinum blonde. She's got some funky purple makeup around her eyes, and her hair is cut in this kind of like almost sort of spiky pixie cut because she has shorter hair when she gets her He-Man powers. And this is not a figure that reuses, I don't think, any parts from any other figures. It doesn't have parts from the standard female figure because she's much more muscular. She's got her powers of Grayskull build, her He-Man build, so she's very, very muscular. You can see like there's details of the abs, and her arms are quite large for a woman. She's got like you know, even you can see the musculature in her thighs. So she looks almost like a bodybuilder or a weightlifter or something like that. But again, that makes sense because she's got her He-Man powers. And then she's got kind of like anklets. She's wearing no shoes at all, but she does have like this little gold kind of gem looking thing that's just kind of stuck to her foot there. I don't know, whatever. I guess when you've got infinite cosmic power, you can dress however you want. So let's go ahead and talk about her articulation. Evelyn can look up about that far, look down about that far, tilt her head kind of quizzically from side to side, rotate the head all the way around, but it's going to bump into that collar thing. So this collar, I'll go ahead and talk about that for a second. You can see there's these two pegs here and two holes, like right where her collarbone is, right above her collarbone, and the collar is supposed to fit in there. Now, if you've seen the Masters Universe Revelation animated series on Netflix, you know that this collar just kind of floats around her neck. It doesn't actually attach to anything. So obviously, that's going to be a challenging item to translate into an action figure. But and likewise, the H emblem kind of seems to be levitating over her chest. But I think they did a good job maintaining the illusion of it. So that's quite nice. Of course, her arms rotate all the way around to the shoulders, but again, they're going to kind of bump into that collar a little bit, and they're going to kind of bump into these shoulder pads, which are not really attached to the arms at all. It looks like this whole piece is removable. So let's go ahead and take that off and set that aside so we can talk about the articulation. That's what the her back looks like without the shoulder armor, and the cape is attached to it, and it looks like the cape is attached to it with these velcro tabs that we see a lot in the Masterverse figures to kind of hold the capes on, and she's got a very large tag hanging off the back. So but then we can get sorry, we we can get a better look at that Starfield pattern that's printed on there, and it's got this kind of purple that fades into a dark blue. Very impressive detail on this figure, which you can do that when you've got like an online exclusive. So yeah, Evelyn's arms can move up to the side about that far. She does have a bicep swivel, so the bicep rotates all the way around. She's got double jointed elbows. That's about the extent of articulation we get at the elbows. Both of these hands in particular, it looks like all the hands articulated the same way. So the hand rotates all the way around to the wrist, and then it has a horizontal hinge which moves back and forth like so. She's got the typical sort of Masterverse articulation, which is right underneath the rib cage, so you can move her torso around somewhat. Should tilt, all the way around, but it kind of bumps into itself a little bit. But really, this is more torso, just torso joint, just to kind of be able to bend her forward, bend her backward, bend her from side to side at the torso joint, and then the waist is what rotates all the way around. And you can see that unfortunately I guess because of the way it's engineered, they had to put the cut joint right in between her lower abdominals there. So very nice job on the belt, I must say. It's got like an actual translucent plastic gem in there. Looks very cool. Especially with the cape off, it looks kind of like Princess Leia's outfit that she wore when she was captured by Jabba the Hutt. That kind of like Frank Frazetta type, you know, bikini outfit, the Dija Thoris kind of look. So yeah, she can do the splits no problem. Good articulation there. Legs can kick up about that far, so maybe a little stiff as far as that goes. She got a thigh cut, so the thigh rotates all the way around. She got double jointed knees. That's about the range of motion you get at the knees. She does have a boot cut, even though she doesn't have boots. So I guess you'd say a mid shin, mid calf articulation. So that does rotate all the way around. And then she's got the typical kind of Masterverse ankle articulation. So her foot can point down about that far, point up about that far, and of course rotates all the way around. So she's a really tall gal. Let's compare her to Skeletor since I happen to have Skeletor handy. So our Masterverse Skeletor, you can see that she stands a good about a half an inch taller than Skeletor. When she gets the power of Grayskull, she gets the power of Grayskull. So let's go ahead and try some of these other hands on her and see what she looks like with these other hands. So I'm going to put this gripping hand onto her right hand. There we go. And I'm going to put one of these solid fist hands onto her left hand because I believe that these energy blasts are going to work best on the closed fists. So there we go. And we'll go ahead and put there is a little bit of like a divider in between there. So that might be so where you can fit the open hands in there if you want to. But she is tall. But yeah, there she is with the blast effect. So we can see what that looks like. Pretty cool. And put the cape back on her. And just for fun, since I happen to have with me the battle armor He-Man who's wearing his standard armor. I have two battle armor He-Mans, and one of them I keep in the standard armor, and the other one I have with the battle armor. And this one I gave him his power sword, which came with one of the other Revelation He-Mans I'd gotten at some point. But that way, since we got the gripping hand, we can actually have her with the sword. So there we go. She really should have come with this sword in the first place. So I really like the Revelation sword. I think they did a good job with the design. So I never mind having some more of these swords. But even though she didn't come with a sword, I do have files to 3D print a Revelation power sword for Masterverse figures. So yeah, she looks very powerful, very very imposing, and eh, quite beautiful still because she's Evil Lyn. So that's gonna make sense. But yeah, Skeletor, you can see he's all agape. He can't believe what just happened. He-Man's like, oh crap. So yeah, she's a really nice figure. She's maybe a little expensive for what she is, but if you take into account she's got this really nice wired cape with this screen printing in it and everything, and she's entirely original pieces, and she's got like several different soft goods pieces because she's got this soft goods skirt in the back, and the cape not only has the screen printing on the lining, but then there's a completely different type of fabric on the back. Lots of different pieces to her. I think they could have tossed in that power sword though. I think that would have been a good thing to add. But if you've got an extra one, you can always do that. Or if you're like me, you're lucky enough to have a 3D printer, you can always print out one. Look on Cults 3D, you can find a Revelation power sword. What was that guy's name that made him like uh got like one of his pieces here, so I might be able to read the name off of it, but uh oh, I got another one over here because Sahak has one. I made this custom of Sahak from the Galaxy Warriors. It turned out pretty cool. It's not quite legible the way I had to print it out. I had to kind of tilt it, and it wound up being kind of rough on the back plate, which is where he puts the name. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, he makes a Revelation power sword that's really good. So Dark-Lyn definitely gets a recommend from me, particularly if you're a fan of the Revelation animated series. I think that, like, that's probably like an important enough of a character. I mean, Evil Lynn is obviously kind of Kevin Smith's pet character as far as writing that goes. He gave her a really interesting arc. I think he definitely likes that character. So so yeah, and there's lots of cool variations of Evil Lynn in this line because you have the first one that came out and that one was okay, and then you have Evil Lynn actually as the sorceress in her Batgirl outfit. So I got to get that. But I really love this one. She looks kind of like Rhea Ripley, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure that you like and subscribe. All the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Dark-Lyn, both this figure and the character in general. And we'll be back next time with another something or other to open up, but I don't know what it's going to be yet. So it's still going to be Masters of the Universe because I got like a ton of Masters of the Universe. I still have a ton of Masters of the Universe to get through. I know I was joking about it being Masters of the Universe March, but we've got like what, like 4 days left of March, and I've got like way more than 4 figures. So I'm gonna finish up all the Masters of the Universe proper stuff that I have to open, and then we'll probably move on to Turtles of Grayskull because I've got like a bunch of Turtles of Grayskull to open since I decided to go all in on that line, at least as best I can at this late juncture. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We will talk to you next time. Bye.